welcome back to my channel. Sorry that I'm kind of whispering. I'm going to turn the volume up when I edit it, so hopefully it won't be too bad. We are currently away and we're staying in a chalet, and so my two littlest are asleep, so I don't want to talk too loudly, but this is also a really good time and the only time that I'm going to get ready to talk, so I thought I'd do a little chatty video today. Sorry that I haven't been on for a little while, not very consistently anyway, the last couple of weeks. To be honest, I had a lot on a couple of weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, and it was really, really busy, and it had just been a really busy month leading up to it was just a really busy time, and it made me really overwhelmed. And then when it was finished, I just like crashed and just needed to not do any extra things for a little while. So I kind of did the day-to-day stuff that needed to get done, but then any extra things like filming videos or editing videos or anything like that just didn't get done. So I'm sorry about that, but I've had a really lovely time of rest now, and we are currently on holiday. This is our kind of one proper holiday of the year, and we've come away to Butlins. It's so like a Christian organisation called Spring Harvest. They rent out the whole of Butlins, so we're currently in Minehead, and it's amazing. There's loads of worship and talks, and yeah, just a lot of fun. And so it's currently the evening meetings on, which I'm half watching on telly over there, so you can see my eyes keep going. But Josh has gone to that, and I've been here with the littlest too because it's their bedtime. Yes, but I thought I'd jump on today and talk about homeschooling and why we decided to homeschool our children. So essentially, my children went to my eldest two went to an infant school, and then it was 20 children in each class, and then they save at the junior school, and then they essentially go to the junior school in year 3, but the junior school is also a full primary school, and what they do is they save 20 places for these other children to come. It's like I think call it a federation. Anyway, so they had gone to the small school, which was so lovely, a really lovely nurturing start to school. Hope never really enjoyed school. She always didn't want to go. She did, have a lot of times when she really liked it, but she had a hard start to school. But Sam seemed to enjoy it a little bit more once he'd got into it, and it was lovely. But once they got to the junior school, both of them really struggled. So there were only 60 children in this school. It was a really family feel, like everyone knew each other. The teachers were just part of the family really, and it was really special. And then they went to this junior school, and there were 400 children, and they both really struggled with that. And when you're there, particularly Hope, when they're there, they then go into 2 classes, and they split her up from her very best friend, and they're both quite shy girls at the time, not so much now, and that was so difficult for both of them. And then it was really and this is going to run out of time, so I'm going to pause it and come back. Right, that's got better. I've got some space, and I've propped you up so that I've told you. Basically when Sam started, he is being diagnosed for assessed for autism, but I had suspected it at that time. And he really struggled with the traffic light system. They had so I think the thing is basically is if you're good, you're on green, then you go to amber if you're badly behaved, and then red if you're worse. But his one was also slightly different than that, because you had to I think you kind of all started on the red, and you had to get to green if you wanted to stay in at lunchtime and play with the Playmobil in the classroom. And he was absolutely desperate to do that because he really struggled going out into a playground of 400 children, particularly if he couldn't see some of his friends straight away, he was just lost, and it was just so overwhelming for him. He really struggled. Now they've got a really great nurture team and a nurture room, but there are so many children that need it that he just wasn't considered bad enough or severe enough to need it. And so he would get really worked up because he would have to not only be good but be noticed for being good twice before lunchtime, and that was just on his mind all the time, and so he'd get really anxious and worked up about that. Also, his class had 2 teachers, so one did 3 days a week, and she was great. I mean, they're both great teachers, but she, when I spoke to her about it, was like, look, I'm always in the classroom at lunchtime. Whenever I'm there, he can come in the classroom regardless of if he's on the green or not, which is amazing. But the other teacher was also the deputy head or assistant head or something, and so he was just really busy, and so he couldn't always be there at lunchtimes. He wasn't there, so that wasn't the case for the other 2 days. Also, when on his 2 days he was often doing other things, so there weren't consistent teachers, but they didn't tell the children what was going to happen. So they go into school, he's thinking it's going to be literacy, break, numeracy, I don't know, whatever the normal routine was of the day, with this teacher, and he goes in, it's a completely different teacher, completely different timetable, and no one has explained that to the children. This person also doesn't understand about the rules about staying in at lunchtime, so he is just completely thrown out of the window. Now for him, he didn't show his anxiety at school, and so they thought that wasn't a problem, even though I was going in and saying, look, there is a problem. And they were lovely, like they did do a few nurture things with him, but what they didn't see was the meltdowns that I was getting every day, and just the anxiety that was causing him. Like, it was horrible for him, and to see him like that, and he was getting himself really worked up. In the end, he would go into the playground when he had to, and if he saw someone that he knew, he would just go and say, can I play? And even if they said no, he would just try and join in, because he just didn't know what to do otherwise. Or they would say, yeah, we're going to chase you, and he doesn't like being chased, he doesn't like that. So he would be like, no, I don't like that. But part of his autism probably is that he smiles even when he's nervous. So he's like, no, I don't want to do that. And they think he does want to do that because his face is smiling, even though his words are saying no. And so they start chasing him, and he's going, no. And I've seen him do it even now. You know, he's occasionally been to home ed groups and people have chased him, and I've seen him doing it. But he would come home and he said to me, but I said no. And I said, I know, but you're smiling, so they think that you love it. And I did explain this to the teachers and said, can you ask the lunchtime supervisors, you know, if they see people chasing him, can they just not? Can they ask them not to? But they just didn't have the capacity. They had 400 children to supervise. Of course they didn't have the capacity to watch out for him. And then it got really bad towards the end. These people would chase him, and then they would chase him until they caught him, and then they would kick him or like hit him or whatever. And I would get calls from the school to say he's been hit again or he's been kicked again. And to be honest, they didn't really do anything about it. And I went in and I said to them, look, you need to put something in place for him, because currently you're not keeping him safe, and I can't have him here. I said, if this was happening at home and he was getting beaten and kicked at home, like, I'd have social services knocking on my door, because I wasn't able to keep him safe. I sent him to school and you can't keep him safe, and that's fine, is it? Like, and they did say, you know, lunchtimes don't work, lots of children, because it's a whole hour. They said actually it was like better during COVID, where they had like shorter staggered breaks for each year, and they said but the long hours, the last 20 minutes, everyone fights and it doesn't work. But they still wouldn't change the system. So to be honest, that really did it for me. Now, I'd always thought about taking Hope out, but you know, she's compliant, she gets along, but actually she, you know, she's quite bright, she does well, but she was just not really being noticed. And actually she had some issues with children who essentially they would just be quite annoying to everybody, but she would keep getting told off for, like, they would I don't know, stare at her, so she'd stare back, and then they'd tell the teacher, oh, Hope stared at me, and then she'd get told off. So she then was like feeling like she was being labelled a naughty child when she just isn't really. And we had times where, sorry, sound came in then, so I had to pause. Yeah, it just became apparent that she was just being quite overlooked because she was pretty well behaved and she was bright. And actually, if it was just for that, I probably would have left her in, but because I was then going to take Sam out anyway, I thought, well, I might as well take both of them out. My youngest now is in year 1, and I'm going to be taking her out this July because her school is now going to be closing, which is really sad because it used to be a really lovely school and it's been taken over by this trust, and it's not quite so nice anymore. It's lost its kind of character really, but they're going to merge it with the other school that it's federated with, which is really sad, but it's like the end of an era. But also it has really changed, and it's not the teachers at all. Like, the teachers are lovely, and it wasn't the teachers at the other school, it's just the school system. But essentially year 1 they took away, because they're a mixed year 1 year 2 classroom, they took away like most of the toys. There's like no role play area, nothing like that, no free kind of open play. It's quite a small classroom, and it's all sitting at desks. They also took away their afternoon playtime, and she's 5, you know, like, that's not what school is to me. And so I'm going to take her out, and it's really sad that the school system is like this, but I just don't see an alternative, like, for everybody, you know. Like, I have a choice to take my children out. I can afford to, I have the time to do that, you know. I have a job where I work from home, fits around my, like, homeschooling fits around my work really well, but most people don't have that luxury, and it's really sad that actually many people would love to take their children out and home educate them, and they can't. And I'm very blessed to be able to do that. And secondly, it's the reason that I want to home educate is because I want to give my children a better education than they would get at school, and I believe that I can give them that. So that is my reason for home educating, and people have lots of different reasons and lots of reasons why they do, maybe unschooling, or they don't do formal work or whatever, but I think that I can just give them a better education than they can at school. So I do want to do formal work, but I just want to do it one-to-one, which I think any teacher would agree is you know, better than they can do at school. Not because teachers are rubbish, and not because I'm better than a trained teacher, but because you know, the way the school system is, in a class of 30 children, no teacher can fully meet the needs of every child in that classroom, you know, even if they're the best teacher in the world. And I'm not saying that I could do it, because I definitely couldn't. I think the teachers they've had have all been absolutely brilliant, but the system fails fails teachers, fails students, and I can give my children a better education at home, even though I am not trained to be a teacher. And I am really sad that the school system's like that, because, as I say, not everyone has the luxury of being able to home educate. So that's why I have home educated, and I absolutely love it, and I recommend it to everybody. Everyone that can, I think you should, because it's amazing. It is just such a joy to spend so much time with my children, and I like it makes me sound so lovely, doesn't it? But it's different when they're at home all the time. I've said this before. It is such a joy to be able to let them have a life where they're just slower, they're not rushing, they're not competing with everybody else. They have time to do things that they want to do, and yeah, I feel really blessed to be in this position. I've got to go because it's almost at 15 minutes and I don't have any longer than that, but thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.